This video uses the S16700-8 as an example to describe the procedure and precautions for cabinet mounting a device, as well as the principles for selecting a cabinet. The Huawei A612 cabinet is recommended. You can also use another standard 19-inch 4-post cabinet that meets the requirements. First, a cabinet with a width of 600 mm and depth of 1,200 mm is recommended. Second, the vertical space, the sum of the chassis height, guide rails, and cabling space must be at least 20 U in DC-powered installation scenarios, and at least 18 U in AC and high-voltage DC-powered installation scenarios. Third, the minimum load-bearing capacity of the cabinet must be 383 kilograms. Fourth, the cabinet's front and rear doors must have a porosity rate of more than 55%. Fifth, for a 1,000 mm deep cabinet, the distance between the front mounting rail and outer side of the front door must be 150 mm, and the distance between the rear mounting rail and outer side of the rear door must range from 200 mm to 250 mm. For a 1,200 mm deep cabinet, the distance between the front mounting rail and outer side of the front door must range from 165 mm to 175 mm, and the distance between the rear mounting rail and outer side of the rear door must range from 200 mm to 300 mm. Sixth, the cabinet's front door must be equipped with an air filter, but the rear door cannot be equipped with any air filter. If an air filter is installed on the rear door, uninstall it. Note that there are many space restrictions if you use a 1,000 mm deep cabinet. First, make sure that the cabinet has single swing doors at the front and rear. Dual swing doors will occupy certain space inside the cabinet. Second, keep in mind that door handles also occupy some space inside the cabinet. Therefore, you should keep devices away from them when mounting devices in the cabinet. If there isn't enough space to do so, then you should replace the cabinet. First, adjust mounting brackets. Measure the distance, A, between the front mounting rail and outer side of the front door, and adjust the mounting brackets to proper positions according to the mapping between distance A and mounting bracket installation positions. When the depth of the cabinet is between 1,100 mm and 1,200 mm. Install the mounting brackets in default positions 1 and 3, when distance A ranges from 165 mm to 175 mm. Install the mounting brackets in positions 2 and 4 when distance A ranges from 180 mm to 190 mm. Install the mounting brackets in positions 3 and 5 when distance A ranges from 190 mm to 200 mm. Second, determine the device installation position in the cabinet. Hold the installation template, align the mounting holes on the installation template with those on the mounting rails of the cabinet, and mark the mounting holes for the mounting brackets and expandable guide rails before removing the installation template. Note, positions of mounting brackets only need to be marked on the front mounting rails, but positions of expandable guide rails must be marked on both the front and rear mounting rails. Ensure the mounting holes on the front and rear mounting rails are on the same horizontal plane. Third, install floating nuts. Install floating nuts in the marked mounting holes. Note, when cabinet mounting a device, 10 floating nuts are used to secure the mounting brackets, and another 10 are used to secure the guide rails. 2 for the front end and 3 for the rear end of each guide rail. Fourth, install expandable guide rails. A. Adjust the length of the guide rails and place them in marked positions on the mounting rails by the plate at the front end and hook at the rear end. The bottom edges of the guide rails must be aligned with scale lines on the mounting rails. Then secure the guide rails with M6 screws. B. Use M6 screws to secure the air baffle to the guide rails. Fifth, install the device in the cabinet. A. Use a pallet truck or lifter to move the device into the cabinet. Note, the chassis is heavy, so lifting it manually is not recommended. If no pallet truck or lifter is available and the chassis has to be moved into the cabinet manually, move the chassis by the load-bearing handles on both sides. To avoid damaging the chassis and modules, do not lift or drag the chassis by the handles of any modules in it. Place the rear bottom of the chassis on the guide rails, and then push the chassis horizontally and gently until its mounting brackets are completely attached to the front mounting rails. When pushing the chassis, prevent it from colliding with the captive screws on the mounting brackets. B. Tighten the captive screws on the mounting brackets. Filler panels must be installed in the cabinet's vacant slots to isolate airflows. Otherwise, the device's heat dissipation will be less effective.